Hello and welcome back, guys. Unfortunately, our favorite pastry time still having those internet issues. So here we are with this cast. I have managed to source a subcaster to say hello to Menace here. How you doing today, Menace?
I am very, very excited, Papa Smithy. That's an understatement. Thank you very much for getting me in. Unfortunately, Pastry can't be with us today, so I'm going to be filling out this one. Hopefully he'll be in for the next one, though.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. He's sorting out his issues. But right now, on the left side, we actually have the top seed for this tournament, Frey Umart. Now, the Frenetic array name might be familiar to some of the Australians here. Team Immunity actually did have that banner before. But this is actually just the newly announced Frenetic array lineup. They have been together for a long time as Umart. That's why they are the top seed here. But they're taking on OzForce here in, I believe, third round match.
Should be a really good one. I mean, Umart just pretty standard around the scene. There's so many recognizable names here. You got the Uber Giant boys in there, and BMA as well. It should be a really good match. We've already got the picks and bans coming out, though. We've got over there on the blue side, which is Umart. They've got Annie, Singed, and Nunu banned out. Obviously, Nunu's going to be pretty much banned out all tournament, I'd say, Papa Smithy. And over there on the purple side, OzForce have banned out Jace, Thresh, and Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and the first pick we have here is the Twisted Fate. I mean, people who've been following the competitive scene, seen so much Twisted Fate. I believe it was the Koreans who first had that 100% pick banned at OGN Spring and now into Summer. So not a surprise to see him first picked here. A lot of solo queue players, a lot of people maybe not as familiar with the competitive scene might wonder, hey, what about those Kassadin counter picks? What about those other champs who actually did pretty well against Twisted Fate? I know yesterday in the OGN, Ari was doing very favorably. Those exist, but if you're ever able to get Twisted Fate through that laning phase, the amount of pressure he puts on, just incredible.
I was also going to say that Shen is wide open for the guys at OzForce to take, and they've taken away Shen. So some really, really good picks that were open there from the bans. Shen and TF both being picked up. Global Ultimate from Shen is just really strong. The split pushing power, obviously, is something you just can't miss. And they've also gone in for that Draven pick locked in there, Papa Smithy. He's such a bully early game, be able to pick up so much CS. And it's just going to be up to whether Umart can answer with a really strong laning phase against those guys.
Yeah, Shen opens up a lot of picks for the top lane. It's probably going to be top lane Shen, because we have the Summoner blockers out here, so we don't know for sure. But Uber Giants, bro, he's hovering over Malphite. That is probably going to be a top lane Malphite for JKS, one of his favorite champions, a champion that he knows the limits of, knows how to initiate, and a fantastic counter pick to Draven, because for all of Draven's lane dominance, in team fights, he still spends a bit of time trying to pick up his axes, to maximize his damage output. He doesn't have that innate escape. Malphite can really, really prey on that mostly defenseless Draven.
That's for sure. I would expect to see a pretty more late game carry then come out for the guys at Umart, probably a Vayne or something to counteract with the early game pressure that Draven does produce. Obviously, being a little bit weaker late game, you want to try and get your hyper carry up, protect him up, and then sort of try and get into that late game phase. We'll have to see, though, what you might do. They have locked in a Sona as well, so that'll be the support, I am guessing, over there. And over for the guys on OzForce, they've locked themselves in an Orianna, and they're hovering over Nautilus, and he is now locked in. So Nautilus also a very strong champ, good early on, ganking potential.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting lineup they've picked up here. The one worry I'd have, when you think of lanes against the Twisted Fate, you think they might 2v1 him, and then that could actually be a very strong potential here. Draven going mid lane with a support 2v1s against Twisted Fate, you probably wouldn't have much answers to that. If they go with just the standard lane matchup, the Twisted Fate against Orianna matchup, you do worry about, Twisted Fate being able to push the lane and roam, and Orianna doesn't have a lot of tools to deal with that. Even if she takes teleport for the counter ganks, you teleport in after that 3.5 second channel, you still have to put the ball down and really try and hit your abilities there, and it's not a perfect solution. So I'm a bit worried about the potential Twisted Fate really snowballing this game out there for Frey.
We'll have to see what happens, and they're hovering over Fiora troll pick for sure, but going back over to the Caitlyn and JKS locking in that J4, so I assume he'd be over in the jungle, and it is going to be a Caitlyn. So Caitlyn, Sona, bot lane, sort of try and stick back as far away as they can from that Draven with his early burst damage and lane control. And we'll have to see what OzForce do bring out for their final pick, and they're hovering over Evelyn right now. But I guess I like the combination of Nautilus and Orianna. I think that could work pretty well, but against a J4, it could be trouble, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, and the Evelyn pick is also interesting because they don't have a traditional support out here. Now, we could see support Nautilus, but I think, and look, we do see the Janna coming out here. Much more expected. But you're right. I mean, if you're looking at initiations, the potential for the Nautilus initiation into an Orianna and Shen follow-up, very, very strong. But you look over on the Umart side, they've got that beat. I mean, Unstoppable Force into a Flash Crescendo, into all of Jarvan's, flag toss combo, into Cataclysm. That is the initiation from heaven right there, even with the potential for the Twisted Fate gold card, either follow-ups or potential disengage on any divers. So definitely the battle of two teams that really want to get in there and smash up a team fight. There's probably not going to be too much split pushing here.
Very true. I really do like Umart's team, though. Unstoppable Force, Crescendo, as well as Cataclysm. So much AoE control in big team fights. I think that picking-wise, they have picked a better team, and it'll be up to OzForce to see if they can, push through the early laning phase. They've got a really good early team, in my opinion. Nautilus and Draven should be able to gain control of this match really early if they can capitalize on it. This is going to be a really difficult late game for them, I think. They're going to have to try and look at getting this one finished early, I think, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, it's one of those things like Draven, although he's difficult to be effective late game, if he can snowball out there early game, if he has that item advantage, still a very strong pick. And you don't even need to, you see a lot of Draven players, they go on like Double Lift yesterday, the Bloodthirster Infinity Edge build. That mid game is just obscene. Like, you don't need to pick up that Zeal to cement your damage just because you have, 85% bonus damage on each axe. Like, just the ability to catch. If you have the Draven mechanics down, you're catching the axes. If you can be largely unimpeded, and granted it is against a Malphite, so that will be difficult, but if they can manage to force those fights, they do have a competitive team fight coming out there. It's just tough. That's the issue.
Yeah, what do you think level 1, like early on in the game, do you think maybe, I think Umart will be going pretty defensive, whereas we might see some invades from OzForce. I mean, you've got Dredgeline from Nautilus. He could come in there, get a few knock-ups or whatever. It depends on what they want to do, obviously, depending on the skill choices there for Nautilus. There's a bit of level 1 potential for OzForce, but I think we might see a pretty defensive sort of play early on from Umart.
See, I might actually disagree with you there, just because, I mean, Nautilus very quickly becomes a real threat, a real thorn on this side. His level 3, for example, once he has 1 point in every ability, super strong. His level 1, however, is pretty inflexible. Like, he usually wants to start at that blue buff just so he can start power clearing with the lower cooldown in his W ability. Whereas Jarvan is the epitome of a flexible jungler. He can start anywhere. He has massively strong ganks at level 2. He can invade at level 2. And they have Twisted Fate, for the very early CC. They're picking up the gold card at level 1. So I imagine Umart doesn't want to give Nautilus a free jungle here. I feel like they'll want to either get the aggressive wards down and steal a buff, or at least put Nautilus back. Because if Nautilus just gets to level 4, 5, 6 unimpeded, we all know what sort of a CC train he can put out.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true. And that brings it back to what I was saying before, I think, of Umart's team just being an all-round solid team. You said, J4 is very flexible. He is a very useful champion, pretty much all around at all levels, Cataclysm and all those sort of things, as well as Malphite. I just really like Umart's lineup all around. Sona being a really good pick as well. And obviously TF, TF being really strong, and that mid lane pressure. As soon as he hits level 6, he can go either top or bottom, doesn't matter where he goes, and pull out some really good ganks. So it'll just be a matter of how the game really pans out for the guys and how they're planning to play it. I'd assume that you might have gone for this sort of strategy. One thing I sort of looked over early on was in the picks and bans was an Annie ban, Papa Smithy. Do you think maybe a targeted ban, or maybe something that they see as that could disrupt their strategy?
You'd have to think it's a targeted ban. I mean, in terms of the competitive scene, Annie's been seeing some play in China. I know Messiah has been picking up a lot of Annie just because in combination, with an Evelyn or a Zac or other AoE CCs, if you just get to drop the Tibbers exactly where you want to, you can wreck team fights with it. We saw support Annie and OGN yesterday to mixed success. I mean, on the winning team, but not necessarily a strong contributor to the win. Annie has her strengths. I mean, the buff to Tibbers actually makes her really good at pushing down turrets just because Tibbers takes so many turret hits to get down. But probably a targeted ban here. It's not really something that's come to the common vernacular in terms of picks and bans just yet.
Yeah, they've just seen someone on the opposite side playing him quite a bit.
Hey, so if you see an Annie main, in an open bracket where you don't know a lot about the enemy teams, if you see a lot of Annie games, ban out that Annie.
It makes sense. Or maybe they've come across them a few times. Being the Oceanic server now, I see a lot of familiar names popping up on the other side, and they usually kick my butt. But that might be the curse of having this new server out. You see a lot of people's strategies and things like that. It's still relatively a small population so far. So, maybe that's what they've seen. They've seen their mid laner, I guess it's Brainiac. He plays a pretty good Annie, and they've gone, hey guys, we got to shove this Annie down. Don't let him have Annie, otherwise he could completely wreck Twisted Fate, Dizzy there early on.
And look, we have to speculate a bit, obviously, compared in terms of what sort of research was able to be done on these teams. It's a lot of players, 4,225 people signing up for this tournament. So they obviously saw something, they went with the ban, and they'll stick with it, which is good. I guess also worth pointing out here that Dizzy is the newest member of Frey Umart here. Of course, Rice, as I mentioned in the earlier cast, still 15, so isn't able to play competitive, the old mid laner for Frey Umart, so Dizzy filling in here, and we'll have to see how he does. Yeah,
a lot of lineup changes due to that age restriction, which is kind of unfortunate because there are a lot of really young, talented players out in the scene that are unfortunately under the age of 17, I believe it is, that weren't able to join. So, they just had to find some fill-in players, and hopefully they can get that quick synergy going because they haven't been able to practice for that long. I mean, tournament was only announced not so long ago, and that age restriction means that we got to switch up the teams. It's a bit of a dance fest, ARAM going on in the middle here, and don't think there's going to be much happening at level 1.
A lot of people having a lot of fun though.
Oh, they know that everybody's watching, so they want to just have a bit of fun, show the guys who are watching the stream that a bit of entertainment, and it's really good turnout so far. I mean, the chat has been going berserk, and I've been in there just trying to chat to you guys, and the turnout is amazing. I've got butterflies on my tummy. This is so exciting, just to be able to cast this match.
This is just day one. I mean, this is going to be a long tournament, and it's not just day one for this tournament, which will be lovely. It's long. We all know about the massive $40,000 prize pool packs. But it's day one for a lot of Aussie esports and Oceanic esports, as I always make that slip of the tongue, unfortunately. And that's exciting as someone who sat around since the start of 2010 wondering when Australia will get itself into gear. Today's the day.
Yeah, you've been waiting a long time, Papa Smithy. I know that. And yeah, it couldn't happen to a better scene. A lot of great people in the scene. It's just so exciting all around. All right, so the guys down bottom, they're going to take their golems, and it's pretty
interesting to see the golem, though. I mean, Menace.
Yeah.
I mean, with this patch, there's been a lot of debate over is golems worth it. If you can maybe secure an enemy red buff for something, then sure, you give up the golems. But I think the math has been done, and the golems pickup is just a little bit better than the 2 or so minions you'll miss. As I watch Uber Giants rotate to lane, he missed the last hit, but he did get the experience on the second minion, so he definitely comes out ahead from taking the double golems.
Well, I guess maybe the Uber Giant boys down bot lane took into consideration that Nautilus will definitely be starting at that blue, so both Janna and Draven will be up there helping out their Nautilus, so they wouldn't lose out against them. So maybe that was the thinking that they were going by, taking those golems early on. And you can see that, wow, the Uber Giant boys trying to zone out as best as possible, keep that Draven away from as much CS as he can, and getting those spinning axes turning.
So it's 2 very strong skirmish junglers early, both of them deciding where they're going to go. Nautilus looks like he might want to pick up some more camps. Now he's rotating to mid. Early game potentially coming in here.
Yeah, he does. He's heading around now. It looks like he's moving towards top lane now. There is a ward there, so JKS will spot him, and I assume he will back out as best he can, unless Shen can get a taunt off and drag him around. But Shen is falling very low, misses the taunt, and JKS is going to have to back out of this one. Here comes the Nautilus, misses the dredge line, does slow him down. Is it going to be enough? He's going to fall into the safety of his own tower.
No, I think a really good job done by Shen there. He fell dangerously low in health, but he was confident they could win the 2v1 exchange. It was a good bait, but not completely bought by JKS up top.
Unfortunately, yeah, he missed that taunt early on. I believe that if Shen got that taunt, it would have been pretty much first blood for the guys up in top lane. But
potential counter game coming up here. Biama obviously noticed that Nautilus is around, but Nautilus is blue pilling, so nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he just gets out just in the nick of time. No EQ combo there from J4 being played by BMA. He is heading around. Shen is going to back as well. Nautilus probably going to come up there and take over the lane for a minute. So Boots started on Shen as well. That's pretty interesting. He didn't go for the Rejuve Beads pots, Papa Smithy.
I think you're flexible. I mean, against a Malphite lane, you're obviously going to take the Seismic Shard harass, but, you know, he could have gone with the fast, safe, you know, double Rejuve Bead start or a single with a load of pots and wards, but probably an aggressive start, I guess, done with the Boots, and he hasn't had to pay for it too much.
I guess it kind of fits in with their picks, you know, aggressive start, try and get the lane control as early as they can. But unfortunately, that Draven early aggression is not really working out for them. Bot lane, top lane now. Shen does get a taunt onto JKS. JKS has taken a lot of minion damage as well as a harass from Shen. He's just going to back out of that one though.
It'd be very, very unexpected to see a solo kill up top here. It's two very tanky men who are kind of building and some are speccing to have an impact in mid to late game team fights. So not too much action expected top without even an ignite between two players.
Yeah, you're right. They're taking the teleport for both of them, hoping to gain that dragon control over bot lane. Now Nautilus is coming around the back, but J4 is there also. Will we see any kind of engage? Little Uber Giant falling very low. Nautilus does grab the Judge Blind on top of Sona. Sona falling very low. She forces out the flash there, and Nautilus is going to back out with a sliver of health. He does also flash too, and Caitlyn just at the back wailing down, completely full health. Will any kills go down? No, they're just going to... Everyone getting away safety, so close.
In the mid lane, no action so far. Obviously, Dizzy's trying to keep the lane as pushed as possible so that once he hits level 6, and at this point, I guess he probably needs to shop first and get some mana. But once he gets level 6, and if he can keep Orianna last sitting on a turret, he has free reign to go to either top or bot lane for those ganks.
Yeah, I would expect to see some wards over near those wraiths there to try and spot out if Twisted Fate does, hide behind the wall and throw out an ulti towards bot lane. But Caitlyn and Sona pretty pushed up against this turret, so I'm not sure how we'll go. Maybe he'll head top, but like you said, it's pretty much two very tanky champions up top lane, and it's going to be a farm fest all day.
All right, we're having some issues with the stream, unfortunately. We've got a lag out from a lovely observer, so why don't we pause it at 6:35 there, Menace?
Righto. And pause.
And we'll try and communicate with them to work out where we can get it fixed. Unfortunately, tech issues are plenty today, but hopefully we can get it all sorted soon.
I mean, you're going to expect that sort of stuff because it's a first-time stream, I guess, for the season. ACL taking over this one. You got to expect these sort of things, so it will happen, and we'll get it all rectified for you guys. It won't be too long before we are back up.
Yeah, but our observer is in chat here. He's communicating. We've told him the time to start, and we'll just wait for his lead.
So, if you guys in chat, actually, who do you want to see go through to Melbourne in the PAX tournament? So type in chat, say, Immunity or the newly formed X5 Eclipse. Would be interesting to see how those guys do go. They're formerly known as the Poachers. So if you are here to support a team, please pop it in the chat. And there's Umart, a couple of Umarts. Immunities, obviously a very favourite team. X5. Which X5 team though? There's so many X5s. There's Eclipse, Solar, and
we'll get started now. All right, there, Miss.
Yeah, right.
Back up.
So we're going to do a count in, Papa?
No, we're already live. Go into about 6:45 and we'll be fine.
All right, I need to catch up here.
6:50, 6:51. Should be fine.
I
might jump ahead actually, so I'll jump to 7:07. That'll probably be fine. I'm at 7:10 now. Sorry about this stream, but we're just trying to line up. Sometimes a bit difficult logistically. Yep, 7:14, 7:15. Sounds good.
All right, hopefully we're all in sync now. And still no first blood after that. A little bit of a skip forward. The guys down in bot lane, Janna and Draven, have head back. What did they pick up?
If you look across the summoner spells, though, Menace, only 2 ignites. So, I mean, usually the ignite is that thing that forces the kill trade. Not a lot of ignites taken. A lot of safe summoners, a lot of utility summoners picked up here.
Yeah, Twisted Fate actually used his smite earlier on, so I guess he's gone a little bit down on Orianna. Unfortunately, still not being able to pick up a kill is pretty quiet. But the gold lead, Papa Smithy, is fairly in favour of Umart right now. 9.5k to 8.3. That's a considerable difference, seeing as there's no first bloods or no dragons so far.
Yeah, exactly. No global objectives, but that's mostly a CS lead. That's going to be a mechanical lead. I mean, remember, Frey Umart are our first seed here, so we would expect that they would be in the advantage here. But I mean, probably the most surprising thing is down bottom lane. Despite the fact that Draven's a pretty favorable lane against Caitlyn, if you get behind early, like if you get chunked a bit too much, you started that Doran's Blade, you don't have the pots to heal yourself up quickly, you can actually struggle, because I mean, Caitlyn, of course, has that long range. She is the sniper champion. And
yeah, they are doing well.
You're looking at about 23 CS advantage for Uber Giants Bro.
That bottom lane is falling very low, though. J4 going down the bot lane. He's spotted by a ward, and I think he's just there to try and put the pressure on. They want to take out this global objective. They want to take down that first turret. Nautilus is trying to answer the call, but I think they're going to have to sacrifice this one.
Yeah, and that just extends their gold lead, 2.1k at the 8-minute mark here.
All right, they're going to maybe posture for drag and move around. Nautilus is in the air. I don't think they do know where Nautilus is at the moment. There we go. There's a ward down for Umart, and they do spot Nautilus in the area. Maybe decide not to go down on the dragon. Twisted Fate having his ultimate up, as well as Malphite's ultimate.
Fantastic aggressive warding down here. Looks like Twisted Fate's going to clean up some kills.
All right, they're going to go straight down onto Draven. Draven falling very good. Here comes the Stand United down onto him. Cataclysm on top. Will there be first blood for J4? Taking out Draven now. Shen in a bit of trouble. He is caught way out of position after that Stand United, but he's going to escape.
Yeah, you just gotta try and push forward a few more seconds. Going to get a little bit behind, but we'll work it out as we go.
Yeah, always fun. All right,
just hitting 942 now, to give you an idea.
All right, hopefully I can get in sync now.
Oh, as the long-range built-over Peacemaker takes down Nautilus. 3 kills on the board for Umart, probably a dragon too.
Yeah, quite an easy dragon now. 4 kills down. Draven is just up. He's going to be going back to that mid lane. It's not going to be much contest, that's for sure. People are saying that it's a laggy. I'm not sure where the stream is at, Papa.
The stream seems fine. We just have a couple of timestamp issues, obviously, with between 3 people trying to communicate times, but we'll figure it out, guys. Please, any sort of understanding, much appreciated. We see a massively aggressive play from Draven. That's the Draven we know and love. Picks up a kill on Twisted Fate.
Yeah, well played by Draven there to wither down that Twisted Fate, throw out the ulti, Ignite ticking down on Draven, but it's not going to be enough, obviously. All right, so gold lead still fairly in favour, 5k roughly in favour of Umart.
Which is massive. 10
that is massive.
We can't really split it any other way.
That's right, a huge gold lead at this stage of the game. Some big ticket items starting to come out now. I mean, you've got Spirit of the Elder Lizard on J4. He's got that one finished, and it won't be long before Caitlyn has finished off the Bloodthirster, so she'll be going straight. Looks like she's rushing for that one, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, the Vamp Scepter could just be for laning. It could still be an Infinity Edge pickup. Bloodthirster, Caitlyn, if you're ahead, is a really nice pickup, because Bloodthirster is a great snowbally item. If it's kind of a desperate BT just to be relevant, that can kind of lead to a really long portion of no damage from an AD carry. But I think it's either going to be a snowballing BT or just into an Infinity Edge from the Giants Bro here.
A lot of pressure mid lane, though, from OzForce. They want to try and take down this mid turret. There's a few guys around there to contest it. And here comes J4. Cataclysm straight down onto Orianna. She has to flash out of that one, and she escapes just with a life.
Yeah, she can count herself a little bit lucky. There could have been a super aggressive Destiny, but of course, that ability's still on cooldown.
Cataclysm forcing out the summoner spells, forcing Orianna to flash, which could be a big thing for the next team fight. And now Umart looking to pressure back down this mid turret. No teleport up for Malphite. Won't be long before Stand United is up on the Shen, so he could potentially come around if they do manage to stall. But I think this mid turret is gone, Pup Smithy.
Yeah, I think they'll have that small window when Stand United's up. But look, they pressured that objective. They got it down. Stand United's still down. Things work out for Frey.
That's right, there goes that mid turret. The gold lead increasing even more for Umart. In control of this game, pretty firm right now. 2 turrets to 0 and almost a 6k gold lead. And here comes a Twisted Fate ultimate up top. Unstoppable Force straight down onto Shen, and Dizzy stealing that one away.
Calculated from JKS. He dropped down to about 100 health, but clearly has those Malphite mechanics right down.
calculated for sure. J4 in a bit of trouble now. Ultimate from Orianna, Ignite, and he is way out of position, and they score themselves a kill, trying to claw their way back into this game, but top tower falls to Caitlyn. Everybody's going to B. They might get a tower out of this one. OzForce looking to push very hard on the mid turret.
But it is important that OzForce are able to pick up these little windows, these little opportunities to stay relevant here. Clearly BMer, a little bit too confident. His team's doing very well this game. Feeding on that confidence, wandering around the enemy jungle. Clearly didn't find something he liked that time.
Yeah, no, OzForce doing a really good job, taking every opportunity they can to try and claw their way back into this game after the lead that Umart have pulled on them. 3-1 towers at 13 minutes is pretty high, as well as a 6k gold lead. So a bit of work for OzForce to do, but they definitely are not out of it after the few mid turret going down and picking up a kill onto Jarvan. And obviously,
we're not looking to suggest that OzForce are back into this game. They still need a couple more favorable picks, a couple more favorable team fights before they can really hope to 5v5 in a way that gets them the game. But it's a good start, right? Every little kill, every little time that you remove the stranglehold that you could say Frey had on the game at that point, it's good for OzForce.
Definitely good for OzForce. Orianna actually taking away a double buff off Jarvan, I believe, when she picked up the kill earlier on. So that's definitely in favour of them. But Umart pushing down this mid turret, the pushing power of Twisted Fate, as well as Caitlyn. They just clear waves instantly, trying to keep up the pressure around the map. And Malphite pretty easily farming top lane by himself. And yeah, Caitlyn, she is going straight for the Infinity Edge as predicted, Pupsmith.
Yeah, look, it was one of those, probably a gold value thing of, when I backed, did I have enough gold to buy a BT? How close am I to IE? Infinity Edge is always going to be more damage. Those Infinity Edge headshot crits especially can be super, super scary. So probably the wise choice.
For sure. And now everybody around bot lane. Janna being caught out here, though. Sona is there, back up a little bit of damage there. And the Tornado knocking out BMA. Cataclysm onto him and forces the flash. Janna getting away to safety.
I mean, forcing that cooldown is probably not the worst thing from the OzForce side. You see the Stand United coming in.
Yeah,
probably not going to be able to force a fight here, though.
Possibly a bit of miscommunication there. Thought that Draven was in a bit of trouble after the stun card from Twisted Fate, but here's J4 over the wall. He doesn't have Cataclysm. There's a teleport at the back from Malphite. Sona flash crescendo over the top, stunning everybody. In comes Unstoppable Force. Draven falls very low so quickly. Will we see a stun land on anyone from Twisted Fate? Twisted Fate gets ultimate from Orianna as well as Nautilus. He gets taken off from the map. Nautilus in a bit of trouble now. They're fighting under turret, and Caitlyn taking that one away. That was a 2-for-1 exchange in favour of Umart.
But so much of the damage from the OzForce side relies on that Draven living, and just got deleted from that sheer AoE pressure from Frey there. So, I mean, OzForce, they're going to find it really hard to clear waves here. Only really Orianna with some situational wave clear at the moment.
Big plays from both sides, though. For OzForce to be able to answer, taking out Twisted Fate, unfortunately not being able to pick up any of those kills. Like you said, Draven being deleted so early from that fight. I think maybe if he was positioned a little better and was able to survive, that could have been a good fight for OzForce under that tower. But Umart coming out on top, and they're going to take away an easy dragon.
Yeah, it's the second dragon in the game. They're ahead in global objectives considerably here. 2 turrets and 2 dragons up. 8k is their gold lead at 16 minutes.
Not bad at all, and we'll see some more items. There is that Infinity Edge finished on Caitlyn.
16 minutes is a damn good part-time for an Infinity Edge.
That is very good. Uber Giants, bro, doing a good job on that Caitlyn. They gained control of that pressure down in bot lane, and he was able to out-CS Draven quite well. Draven's not doing too bad, though. He's only behind 30. I mean, that's behind quite a bit, but for the amount of pressure that he had on that lane, I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. Given the early CS discrepancy was, about 25? It hasn't really snowballed away from there. And on the other hand, a fantastic answering kill on Twisted Fate when Dizzy got a bit cute in mid lane, next to a Draven. Nothing you should ever do. And playing as well as they can, given the situation.
That's right. But I really like the play that the guys made at bot lane from Umart. Just communicate, say, all right, we're going to do this Malphite teleporting in, Unstoppable Force, and a flash crescendo. I didn't even get to go back and mention that really good engage from Little Uber Giant, winning them that team fight. Nautilus now looking to try and engage on JKS up in top lane. JKS doesn't know he's there. There is the taunt and the dredge line picking him up there, but he is so tanky right now. He can just walk away, Papa Smithy, to the safety.
He's so tanky that he doesn't even use the unstoppable force to escape. He knows that they don't have the damage to take him down, so why not keep that for the next team fight?
Nautilus burst damage, not really very high, and Little Uber Giant coming up top lane to try and support. There is a Twist of Fate ulti. Where is that going to be going down? He's gone bot lane to do a bit of split pushing, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where he didn't have the the ward coverage to be able to split push effectively. Why not ult, put the fear of God into the enemy team, but also take down a turret?
Yeah, really good. Lichbane, so strong for pushing those towers, that extra burst damage, being able to push towers and split push all day, as well as, teleport on JKS. He'll be able to do a fair bit of split pushing himself, but most of the time I think he's going to be up against Shen in this top lane. And J4 a little bit deep here. There we go. EQ knock up onto Nautilus. Nautilus throws down the ultimate onto Caitlyn, and he does get Cataclysm, but Dredgeline is out from that one. Stand United does come down. No kills around the map. A very good play from Nautilus to escape the Cataclysm there.
I agree. It was very fortunate that he lived there, but also a very long cooldown. That Stand United cooldown used defensively, it means that they just don't have the same Shen split pushing pressure for the next 190 seconds or so.
Yeah, but Umart's so confident to engage that they've burned the Cataclysm. No Cataclysm on Jarvan. Same with the previous team fight, but they're really confident that they can actually do this one, so they're sticking around, maybe trying to get an engage, but they do decide to back away from that one. TF stealing away the blue buff there. And just keep farming up like a beast. The Lichbane finish on him and so much burst damage, as well as control. He still hasn't got his ultimate up for a little while. And Malphite all this time up in top lane, just farming and farming.
Yeah, BM is almost using his ult off cooldown just to, force 5v4 situations, which isn't the worst use. We used to see Reginald on Gragas do much the same thing of, I'll ult you, you'll get low, we get a free objective. And it just feels like BM or his new name, Koena, previous alternate username, is using that ult just to force someone back. He's not going to be able to complete the kill, but get them away from a turret and then try and snowball an objective from it.
Umart in a good position right now. Nautilus has gone towards the top lane. He doesn't really have much of a really fast way to get bot lane. I mean, it's not really that far, but a teleport from Malphite and an engage could be really devastating for OzForce at this stage of the game. Nautilus being forced to defend that second tier top turret, and Shen sticking around middle, obviously having no Stand United, but his teleporter is up as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Shen could definitely come and hold the lane against a Malphite. Malphite won't have kill potential on Shen 1v1. But he doesn't have Stand United up, and a teleport Shen counter turning fight. Oh, it's a fantastic shockwave.
Yeah, a nice shockwave down, picking up two members there. There's a Cataclysm at the back, used in defense. It was a good stun engage onto Shen, but they didn't really want to follow it up. Orianna took the opportunity to try and make something of it, but good work from Umart to get away from that one.
Yeah, not quite the beautiful Malphite gank or the layers of Frenetic array engaged just yet, and Malphite of course is just looking for that perfect time to teleport in. You look, a nice aggressive ward near the OzForce turret here might be the Malphite teleport ward.
Yeah, everyone from OzForce falling very low. The poke from Twisted Fate is too strong. There's so much burst onto Orianna, and she was so far at the back, and he was still able to stick a card onto her and throw out a bit of poke, forcing everybody to back. But it looks like Umart also want to back, so they're going to leave this one. And J4 is going to go back, get his blue. Everybody going to farm up, get some more items. Needlessly, their Arch Rod picked up on Twisted Fate, getting more of that AP, and Aegis of the Legion on J4. Give that a good aura for the auras for his team, defensive auras.
Yeah, some pings coming down from the OzForce side on Baron. They realize they don't have that vision they want, but doesn't look like Frenetic Array are really concerned about Baron just now. They're just pushing their advantages, keeping lanes pushed, and forcing OzForce to react to their first moves.
That's right, Malphite up in the top lane, still pushing away. Could we see possibly OzForce trying to move up and get a kill onto JK Smithy? He's very strong. He does have that unstoppable force, so he can escape. Draven is there. He's going to take away red buff, maybe move up and try and take out JK Smithy, gain control of that top lane again, because he is just really pushing very hard and so much pressure up in top lane.
Third dragon of the game, probably going to be secured here for Frey. Expand that goal lead. It'll go over 10k for the first time this game if they take dragon down here. Seems very likely. Yep, there you go.
And that gold lead, it's now at 10k, over 10k gold lead in favor of Umart, and it's really going to be very difficult for OzForce to come back at this stage of the game, and Malphite is pretty much free to push right up against this turret. Look, Nautilus is now moving around. I think JKS knows what's going to happen. Dredgeline does miss, and he's just going to walk away from that one.
And using two tanky men to gank a Malphite, with very low kill potential there, it's just not something that's for... Oh, as we see the Dredgeline coming into BM here.
He does get that landed on top of him. There is ultimate from Orianna knocking him up, and J4 just escapes from that one. Ultimate from TF has gone down. Crescendo, a great crescendo over the top, and at the back, TF is bursting down that Draven. Draven flash over the wall. There's a Stand United on top of him. Shen's going to be a little bit out of position for this team fight, although I think that it was cancelled from Malphite up in the top lane, and Caitlyn picking up a kill onto Nautilus. Orianna falling very low. Double kill for her, and Twisted Fate taking out Janna. There is Shen being chased down by J4 and Malphite at the back trying to chase down Draven as well. A good fight for Team Umart, a 3-for-0 exchange.
Yeah, and the 10k gold lead, you could really be felt there. It's just that difference between completed big item and the start of a second item to just struggling to get first items finished on the OzForce side.
Yeah, they're going to go through, pick up the second tier and the inhibitor turret down in the mid lane. Shen is there, but he's not going to be able to do too much. Will they go for the inhibitor? No. Draven is up, full health. They're just going to back away from this one safely. Maybe go back and pick up some more items, use that gold that they have. And 5-0 Caitlyn, 172 CS. She is doing very well right now, Papa.
Yeah, Ubergiant's Bro showing why he's a respected and feared AD carry. I mean, Diamond 1 player on the NA server. And I think a very good disengager, just because very low mana on both their carries there. It would have been very hard to siege that inhibitor down, come back another day.
OzForce don't really have much potential to get to that Caitlyn. The front line for Umart is so strong and Caliber Net Flash from Caitlyn, there's no way that really anyone from OzForce are going to be able to get to the back and take her out. She is their really big source of damage at the moment, but Umart playing this one very well. The front line from them is just really strong.
And now we see the aggressive posturing here, taking down wards and trying to secure the next buffs here. Frey, which is the next step. They're not interested in Baron, which, to be honest, forcing a fight around Baron with the potential of their engage following up, a grouped Malphite ultimate coming in would spell the doom for OzForce. But for now, they're just happy to posture around buffs and just try and take that inhibitor down.
And let JKS continue that pressure up in top lane. Just pushing away Sunfire Cape, helping out with that pushing power. And I think, Malphite does a pretty good job against a Shen pushing power-wise. I mean, he's got a little bit more AoE damage. His teleport is up. Unstoppable Force is up for everything. There's an exposed inhibitor mid lane. What will we see next, Papa Smith? It looks like they're going to try and get this second-tier top turret.
I think whatever they look to get, they'll secure. Like, they're in a position where they have to be a massive misplay, maybe a split team or split focus to lose an objective, but clearly the call was to get another outer turret here. I believe all outer turrets down. Yep, all outer turrets and the inner turret down for OzForce here.
OzForce are left behind that wall, trying desperately to defend an exposed inhibitor, but Frey Umart are there to try and take it out. BMA just pretty much taunting them, standing in between 3 or 4 of them, saying, you guys can't engage on me. Here he goes. EQ does land the combo onto Orianna. Orianna takes a fair bit of damage and back. Shen gets a nice taunt onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn does get ultimate from Nautilus as well. Crescendo over the back. The ultimate from Orianna missing everybody. Stand United going out, but dominating little Ubergiant there. Sorry, Ubergiant's Bro and Caitlyn picking up the kill on Nautilus. A double kill. Draven falls very quickly, and this is going to be an easy inhibitor for Umart.
Yep, and they're not looking to pressure too much. Umart actually, Frey Umart as they're now known, usually a team that will push all objectives. They'll kind of take the tutorial victory, it's known as. They'll try and take down all objectives, don't take any big risks, and just, freeze the enemy team out of the game.
And Shen gets a taunt onto JKS, trying his best to get them away from this turret, but it could be big trouble for them. There goes the turret. Janna falls to Caitlyn. They're going to get themselves a second inhibitor, and a legendary Caitlyn is very, very scary.
803, 189 CS. Not quite most CS in the game. Malphite had been too happy AoEing down waves up top, but close enough. Looking very comfortable here, Frey.
They are looking comfortable indeed, and just going to go back, buy some more big items, just gain that lead even more. I mean, they're almost 15k, over 15k gold lead, 12-3, 8-1 turrets. It's just really in Frey Umart's hands at the moment. Maybe they'll go for an easy Baron to try and finish out the game. Going to go for that, as you said, tutorial victory, take away that last inhibitor in the top lane, and then take out the victory for this one. But OzForce, they have actually played pretty well. They've taken as much as they can the opportunities that have arisen for them and answered with a few really good team fights early on, but unfortunately just Caitlyn is really strong and has been able to clean up the fights, and they are moving around for Baron, Papa.
And the interesting thing here is, I mean, you look at Malphite's score here. He's rocking the James Bond. He's got the MI6 going with the 007 score. The most important thing to look at here, 12 kills, 0-0-12 score for Sona. Sona being involved in every kill. So it just shows that little Uber Giant has been where his team needs him to be. He's been doing those massive flash crescendos. I mean, how can you argue with a 0-0-12 score in a 12-3 game?
No, you're right. Little Uber Giant doing work. Some of his flash crescendos have been amazing. There was a really good crescendo earlier on in a team fight where he managed to pick up 3 of the guys, and it just snowballed from there. Crescendos are really good CC AoE from, to complement as well, Cataclysm and the Unstoppable Force. But here they go, looking to push down top lane. They did secure an easy Baron, and they just take that tutorial victory, as you said.
Well, it's very easy to siege down a turret when you have super minions pushing down mid and top. There's no correct choice if you're an OzForce player right now.
There's nothing there. There's no way they'll either defend this top one, and while they do, the big super minion's going to come down and take out your Nexus turrets, or you send one person away and it's instantly a 4v5, and a 4v5.
And the only person who can really do it, as is being evidenced here, is Draven, and that's the person they need in a team fight.
That's right. Look at all those minions as a Dredgeline lands on Caitlyn. There's ultimate from Orianna, does a really good job. Unstoppable Force at the back, so much burst onto the Draven. Draven gets stand united, but Shen falling so quickly to the power of Uber Giants, bro, on that Caitlyn. There's an ace in the hole, and she gets a triple kill. Legendary Caitlyn.
And Sona continues to be eminently useful.
There's a Twist of Fate ultimate straight down right next to the base there. Orianna falls very low, and they're going to take that one away. GG to Frey Umart, taking out OzForce on this one. Really well played by both teams, but unfortunately Umart